Hello, welcome to Return to Self. My name's Alana, and if we haven't met before, then it's lovely to meet you. Now, today my guides asked me to sit down and channel a collective message for you. So the first thing that I saw as I went to sit down to do this was a sword really firmly planted in the ground. Usually to me, swords signifies logic and the use of logic. I believe the fact that it was planted so firmly in the ground to me means that you're probably needing to rely really strongly on logic at the moment rather than relying on your emotions. I also saw what looked like a lot of wind and hurricane type weather conditions. I saw images of trees sort of being blown everywhere and things like that. I would say that perhaps in the wider collective at the moment, there is a lot of turbulent emotions being experienced. I do feel like this is probably connected to a lot of the wars going on at the moment, people's financial circumstances on a global scale, and also just a lot of changes going on within the wider collective. I did get told to tell you guys to try to refrain from falling into any fear-based thoughts, particularly regarding finances. People might be really struggling with finances at the moment, or fears and uncertainty around finances. After that, I saw an image of seagulls, and I got a very scavenger type feel with this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a scarcity kind of consciousness that's quite prominent in the collective at the moment. I'm just being told that this consciousness is quite heavy. If you do feel like you're being affected by this consciousness, just try to maintain boundaries as much as you can and focus on yourself, what you can do, I guess, to kind of look after yourself during this time. I could see that spiritually, a lot of you are still plodding along, still evolving, still moving forwards. It just may not be at the same pace that it has been. Pace of growth may be a bit slower at the moment, and that's completely fine. I did get that this is particularly relevant for those people who have volunteered here on the earth plane. So you may feel like life isn't moving very quickly at the moment. And I do see that a lot of change is happening under the surface. I think that this is just the pace that the rest of the collective is needing to go at the moment. Otherwise, I think that there would be a lot more drama and a lot more issues and things like that. So it's probably a good thing that things are going at the pace that they are right now, especially as people's frequencies are beginning to increase and things like that. You don't want to have too many people going through massive frequency increases all at once. Unfortunately, the density that has to come out when people do experience a frequency increase can be difficult to go through. It can bring up shadow emotions and things like that. The next thing that I saw was a pair of scissors cutting some sort of cord. My guides then told me it's about cutting cords to anybody in your life that you feel is sort of judgmental or kind of detrimental to your well-being. Anybody who doesn't allow you to express yourself, they said it's really important to let go of these people. Where and as you can, I feel like they are kind of preventing you from, I guess, experiencing other timelines and things like that that are probably in your best interests. I did also see as well that a certain amount of you are also going through a spiritual transformation, and I'm just being told at the moment that you are forming the structure and the foundations, I guess, for your life's mission. This is just going to be for some of you. They're saying to me, don't allow yourself to fall into the fear or anxiety of following this soul purpose or soul mission. I did also pull out some tarot cards just to clarify things a bit further. The first card that I pulled out here was the Page of Cups. Basically, the Page of Cups refers to the innocence of childhood and things like that. It's about getting in touch with your inner child. It's also about getting in touch with thoughts, ideas, and things like that that might be coming to you from the universe, that are meant to inspire and guide you, especially as you are changing frequencies, they're saying. I am also getting a focus here on the fish in the background. Usually fishes signify emotions and things like that, but I actually feel in this case that it might be signifying like a Pisces star sign. The next one that I had here was the Page of Swords, and this is basically about beginning to act on those ideas and inspiration that you may have received from spirit. It's just slowly putting plans into place and I guess allowing that momentum to propel you forwards wherever you can. I am seeing the feathers in the background here, and I do very much feel like this is divinely guided. They're also showing me a sort of a vague. I feel like whatever you're doing is designed to fill you emotionally. I feel like there is some sort of spiritual purpose behind this, and I very much feel like it's nourishing you on a spiritual level. Now, the next card after that was the Four of Swords. Basically, this is one of rest and contemplation. It can also turn up when you're feeling particularly anxious and things like that, overly caught up in your thoughts, going through mental battles and things like that, and symbolizes a need to come out of the mind and back into the present, just to give yourself the time and space to rest that brain of yours, really. I'm definitely getting a heavy influence around that sword energy at the moment, so definitely needing to utilize logic as much as possible right now. The next one after this is the Star, and I think this is just a reiteration of the Page of Swords almost. I very much think that this is just you being guided by spirit and rewarding you for following that soul path that you feel called towards. Again, I'm seeing a wombat, which means that you are still plodding along in relation to a lot of this stuff. I don't think that these things will happen quickly. I think that this is going to be a slow, methodical progression towards your ultimate goals at this stage. But I do see it being very emotionally rewarding and also full of abundance, prosperity and things like that. So I definitely feel like it is a good goal or ambition to be following. I see that following this goal will require you to tap into those intuitive feelings that you might have, to tap into that inner magician, energies of that sort of higher priestess and things like that as well. So I guess tapping into a lot of that sort of intuition and things like that are important for you. The next card after that is the Emperor. With the Emperor at the moment, I'm just getting, he's sitting on a rock, and the rock is made up of, it might actually be a crystal, and it's got lots of little fragments to it. It's almost like a mirror that's been broken. And what I take from that is the fact that you as a person are full of lots and lots of different aspects. So I think that you are very multidimensional. I think you have lots of different aspects to your personality, to your gifts and things like that. And I feel like it's these different aspects of you that are actually helping to create some kind of firm foundation. And I think that you have had to explore these aspects of yourself in order for you to be able to come into abundance and to be able to manifest that abundance here on the earth plane as well. Now, after that, we have the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands usually signifies quick changes being made in your life. So it could be sort of news that quickly changes situations, unexpected messages, unexpected events. I think because of the flowers here, it's probably a good thing. There might be some news that comes shortly about a good event. I am getting the words karma as well, so it could also be in relation to good karma, if that makes sense. The one after this is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands always refers to some sort of ambition of some sort. And I'm seeing the emphasis in the background there on those stars. Hopefully you can see them there. And the stars just mean that you are being guided, connected to the universe, and that you are beginning to create something new. So I feel like basically you have had to do a lot of foundational work on yourself, perhaps sort of transmuting shadow aspects of yourself, coming into your gifts, developing more gifts and things like that, in order that you can manifest a new path for yourself, and also a new timeline. They're giving me the words pursuits. So I think that you have had to do all of this so that you could go after new pursuits. They're also saying to me that you have needed the motivation to be able to pursue those pursuits. I do see a seashell at the moment, and for me, seashells always mean some sort of emotional healing. So I do feel like you have probably had to go through some sort of emotional healing. They were just giving the word stagnancy too. So perhaps there's been aspects of yourself that had become sort of stagnant. I feel like that's kind of now past you. I feel like you are now a lot more motivated to achieve these particular goals. Maybe you needed to find your why for going after this particular thing. And I feel like that had to come from you. It couldn't be forced on you by spirit, basically, if that makes sense. All right, well, I might leave that reading there. I hope that this has helped you. If you could please like, comment, or subscribe, that would be great. But other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. See ya.